part 3 of reading Aladdin and his wonderful lamp. We got cut off because this book's very heavy and I leant on the, I don't know what you call it, the finger pad thing, and ripped this off. So that's annoying, isn't it? Instead of being a 3-part video, it's going to be a 100-part video at this stage. But yes, I'll have to remember to not lean on anything with this book. Annoying. Well, right in the early phases of this video too, complete with a very interesting segue. Oh, Mama T. Well, if you're here because you find me interesting and entertaining and you learn stuff and whatever. It's a human experience. Let us carry on with the story. We were talking about easing of poverty, and I was about to thank all my earth angels from over the years who have eased mine and fed me when I was destitute, and my children, and carried us along, and here I am, 59 and 8 months, and not much has changed, people of earth, which is an astonishing, horrifying thought, but it is what it is. So anyway, let us continue. But when she saw that mighty, fine silvern tray, she fell to marvelling at the matter, and quoth she, O my son, who be this generous, this beneficent one, who hath abated our hunger pains and our penury? We are indeed under obligation to him, and meseemeth 'tis the Sultan who, hearing of our mean condition and our misery, hath sent us this food tray. Quoth he, O my mother, this be no time for questioning. Arouse thee, and let us eat, for we are both famished. Accordingly, hang on a sec. I don't like you up there on the curtains, Charlie. Come down. Better come down. Down, because otherwise you poo in the curtains. That, up, yeah, up on that. Now climb up on that. Don't give me a hard time, Charlie. Don't give me a hard time, Charlie. That's it. Yeah. Dear goddess. Come on, little girl, come on, go. That's it. You're a good girl. You're so good. It's not the washing the curtains that bothers me. It's the bloody ironing. I fucking hate ironing. I used to iron for 10 hours straight when I had little children. It was obsession and nuts and too much for any mortal woman to cope with. It seemed me quite troppo actually. It's all my kids have memories of is me ironing or being troppo, or it's probably why they hate me. Never mind, I mustn't think about it or I'll get spiral under. Now where were we? So the mother's saying we're under obligation, feeling trepidatious about all these goodies coming from nowhere, as you would know that feeling too. And he's saying, well, never mind, let's just eat. Practical minded. Accordingly, they sat down to the tray and fell to feeding when Aladdin's mother tasted meats whose like in all her time she had never touched. So they devoured them with sharpened appetites, and all the capacity engendered by stress of hunger. And secondly, the food was such as that marked the tables of the kings. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Bless. But neither of them knew whether the tray was or was not valuable, for never in their born days had they looked upon aught like it. As soon as they had finished the meal, withal leaving victual enough for supper and eke for the next day, they arose and washed their hands and sat at chat, when the mother turned to her son and said, "Tell me, O my child, what befell thee from the slave, the genie, now that, Alhamdulillah, Lord to the Lord, we have eaten our full of the good things, wherewith he hath favoured us, and thou hast no pretext for saying to me, I am an hungered." So Aladdin related to her all that took place between him and the slave, what while she had sunk upon the ground a swoon for sore terror, and at this she, being seized with mighty great surprise, said, "'Tis true, for the jinns do present themselves before the sons of Adam, but I, O my son, never saw them in all my life, and meseemeth that this be the same who saved thee when thou west within the enchanted hoard, when you were in the enchanted hoard." It's hard work, people of Earth. It's hard work. I have to take a moment to just let my neurons just stop spiraling in infinity and just settle. Right, here we go. "This is not he, O my mother. This who appeared before thee is the slave of the lamp." "Who may this be, O my son?" "This be a slave of sort and shape other than he." Oh, I've got to somehow trim your nails, Charlie. They're getting very sharp. How are we going to do that without hurting you? "That was the familiar of the ring, and this, his fellow, thou sawest, was the slave of the lamp thou hentest in hand. Verily, O my mother, the genie who appeared to thee was the slave of the lamp." And when his parent heard these words, she cried, "There, there, so this accursed, who showed himself to me and went nigh unto killing me with affright, is attached to the lamp?" "Yes," he replied, and she rejoined, "Now I conjure thee, O my son, by the milk wherewith I suckled thee, to throw away from thee this lamp and this ring, because they can only cause us extreme terror, and I especially can never bear a second glance at them." Oh, you want to cuddle, Charlie? Okay. "Moreover, all intercourse with them is unlawful, for that the Prophet, whom Allah save and assain, warned us against them with threats." He replied, "Thy commands, O my mother, be upon my head and upon mine eyes. But as regards the saying thou saidst, 'tis possible that I part or with lamp or with ring." Sorry, impossible that I part with either the ring or the lamp. Yes, my little baby girl. Are you going to part with your mama? No. No, 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 no. You love your mother. You're the only one that still loves her mother. Oh, let me try not to cry and be happy in spite of everything. In the spite of everything, perhaps to spite everything, we will choose happiness and joy and delight. Babies. Anyway, that's my magic, my survival to thrival. It's astonishing at times. "Thou thyself hast seen what good the slave wrought us when as we were famishing, and know, O my mother," don't bite his mother, "that the Maghrabi," don't bite his, no, I'll get cross and you'll go in your cage. That's how it will end up. You'll be on time out for the rest of the day, because ultimately I am the boss in this house, even though you think you are. Yes, it's a shock to the system, I know, but it's how it works at Sacred Space. Oh, I'm just thinking about it. I love you. I love you. Oh, I love you. Crazy bird. That the Maghrabi the liar, the magician, when sending me down into the hoard, sought nor the silver nor the gold, wherewith the 4 halls were fulfilled, but charged me to bring him only the lamp, naught else, because in every deed he had learned its priceless value, and had he not been certified of it, he had never endured such toil and trouble, nor had he travelled, ouch, from his own land to our land in search thereof. That's your second strike, Charlie. That's your second fucking strike, okay? Yes, I'm about to run amok on your head. She's watching. Yes, I know. That was only a very light nibble. I will allow very light nibbles, but you chomp down hard and you're going in your cage. Right. Yes, I know. I'm an angry bird. I think you're just being mischievous anyway. Right, where were we? So you nibbled Mummy and Mummy got lost focus. Ah, yes. If he had not been certified of its priceless value, he had never endured such toil and trouble, nor had he travelled from his own land to our land in search thereof, neither had he shut me up in the treasury when he despaired of the lamp, which I would not hand to him. Therefore it besitteth us, O my mother, O dear Charlie. Yes. I've got a toy Aladdin's lamp. I should actually make it in sterling silver, shouldn't I? It's quite a chunky piece, it'd be very heavy. So no. I could maybe make one, carve one out in wax carving, if I ever get good at wax carving. Just saying. Need to practice. Anyway, where were we? Therefore it besitteth us, O my mother, to keep this lamp, and take all care thereof, nor disclose its mysteries to any wise. For this is now our means of livelihood, and this it shall enrich us. Enrich us, Charlie. What can we find in Aladdin's lab? She says, you're already enriched, Mama. You've got me. This is true, Charlie. This is true. And likewise, as regards the ring, I will never withdraw it from my finger, inasmuch as, but for this, thou hadst never more seen me on life. Nay, I should have died within the hoard underground. How then can I possibly remove it from my finger? And who wotteth that which may betide me by the lapse of time? What trippings or calamities, ow, or injurious mishaps wherefrom this finger may deliver me? However, for regard to thy feelings, I will stow away the lamp, nor ever suffer it to be seen of thee hereafter. Try to whip us off again. Now, I need kind of another table to put this on, don't I? Or a stool or something. It does get rather heavy. Now when his mother heard his words and pondered them, she knew they were true, and said to him, Do, O my son, whatso thou wiliest. I think they mean willest. For my part, I wish never to see them, nor ever sight that frightful spectacle I erst saw. Get used to seeing them, honey, is your bread and butter. Sometimes you just got to look at the frightful spectacles and... No, you don't gotta. don't do it, girlfriends. Just run and choose poverty and keep running, babies. Oh, you have to laugh. I revoked all vows of poverty and chastity and, misery and depression and oppression and suppression 2 years ago, and still waiting for that to completely metamorphose. But I'm seeing quite dramatic changes in the last 2 years, so I've got my hopes up. Oh, poor Mama T. And poor Mama T is not poor. Poor Mama T is rich in spirit and creative and ambitious and loving and kind and has integrity. So I'm not poor at all. Just saying. Not in spiritual, emotional, mental ways. Just got to shift a couple of albatrosses and she'll be right, mate. Anyway. Shut up, Davidson. He's taking offence that I consider him an albatross. Anyway. Aladdin and his mother continued eating of the meats brought them by the genie for 2 full toll days till they were finished. Oh dear goodness, I'm really losing it, aren't I? Might have a drink, then we won't lose it. It's just H2O, babies. H2O. Filtered H2O, because I no longer trust our water supplies. Apparently they can poison us now with fog, smart fog. That's a terrifying thought, actually. It's got me a bit rattled today. There's always some evil shit happening on our earth, and it's alarming. I have to choose a new reality. In Titania's realm, we are all safe, we are all free, we all have more than enough resources to eat good food and drink good drink and have a roof over our head and be with our true beloved ones who love us so deeply and truly that we are never isolated, abandoned or marginalised. And, we're supported by our community, our tribe, our people, and we're treated with kindness and honour and sweetness and support. Yes, we are. I have been in the past few years absolutely loved and supported. And in Titania's realm, there's no globalist, insane people trying to destroy humanity, and we all live happily ever after, building our lives one day at a time in great joy and delight for our progeny and our other inhabitants of planet Earth if we don't have progeny, and we don't give up on each other. We hold each other precious with deep, deep awe and wonderment and respect. We take delight in each other and we create art and music and literature and build buildings or build roads, or some of us collect garbage, or however we are in service. We do it with peace in our heart that we're participating and providing a safe and beautiful world for all of us to live in. Amen for Salah, dear goddess. I think I need drugs. It helps to be a bit delusional, doesn't it? Oh well, we did the drug thing with the psychiatric meds for 15 years and they didn't bring happiness or safety either, so I got with the program and reclaimed my mind, and this is what you're left with, people of Earth. Mama T and her weird segues. Took a lot of courage and strength to reclaim my life from too many ground zeros, so I make no apologies for the way my brain's wired now. It's been a long, hard fight. If people had fought as hard for me back in the day as I had to fight for myself, I would have had a vastly different life and I would have been prosperous by now and had a beautiful man by my side, but it wasn't the cards the gods gifted to me, and I just have to accept it and be at peace with it and smile and dance and thrive in my own gnosis and let everything else just fucking go, quite frankly. Just let it all go. Right, now. So they were eating for 2 full whole days till they were finished. And when he learned that nothing of food remained for them, he arose and took a platter of the platters which the slave, meaning the genie, had brought upon the tray. Now they were all of the finest gold. But the lad knew naught thereof, so he bore it to the bazaar, and there, seeing a man which was a pedlar, a viler than the Satans, offered it to him for sale. When the pedlar espied it, he took the lad aside that none might see him, and he looked at the platter and considered it till he was certified that it was of gold refined. Imagine that, eating off gold plates. Amazing. But ultimately, you can't take your wealth with you, and it's meaningless drivel at the end. It all depends on where you're at in life. But he knew not whether Aladdin was acquainted with its value, or he was in such matters a raw laddie. So he asked him, "For how much, O my lord, this platter?" And the other answered, "Thou wottest what be its worth." The pedlar debated with himself as to how much he should offer, because Aladdin had returned him a craftsmanlike reply, and he thought of the smallest valuation. At the same time, he feared lest the lad, haply knowing its worth, should expect a considerable sum. So he said in his mind, "Belike the fellow is an ignoramus in such matters, nor is ware of the price of the platter." Whereupon he pulled out of his pocket a dinar, and Aladdin eyed the gold piece lying in his palm, and hastily taking it, went his way. Whereby the pedlar was certified of his customer's innocence of all such knowledge, and repented with entire repentance that he had given him a golden dinar in lieu of a copper carat, a bright, polished groat. However, Aladdin made no delay, but went at once to the baker's, where he bought him bread and changed the ducat. Then, going to his mother, he gave her the scones and the remaining small coin, and said, "O my mother, hie thee and buy thee all we require." So she arose and walked to the bazaar, and laid in the necessary stock, after which they ate and were cheered. And whenever the price of the platter was expended, Aladdin would take another, and carry it to the accursed pedlar, who bought each and every at a pitiful price. And even then he would have minished, but, seeing how he had paid a dinar for the first, he feared to offer a lesser sum, lest the lad go and sell to some rival in trade, and thus lose his usurious gains. Bastard. I had that done to me with jewellery back in the day. It was really fucking vicious. They even swapped out the diamonds in my engagement ring. I looked at it later, I thought, they used to be really white and clear, and now they're grey. That's how I knew. Couldn't prove it. It's odd. It's odd. I sold it for $150 back to them, which was also kind of odd. It's like I was under some spell. Anyway, I got rid of it. I'd worn it for 33 years and I'd hated my husband for at least, 23 of those years, so there's no point carrying that energy anymore. But now I'm a silversmith and I know how to melt down metal. I could have melted it down myself and turned it into something else, by the gods. So, sisters of Estros, no matter how much you hate your ex-husbands, don't sell your diamonds to some motherfucker who's just out to rip you off. Hold on to them, put them away somewhere and learn how to melt gold and silver and transmute your alchemical gold into something even better. That's what I'm doing. I'll be melting it into something even better, but it's gone now. Can't do anything about it. Let go, let go. Oh, but anyway. That diamond ring was funny though. I had a boyfriend for 5 years, Courtney, from 2005 to 2010. We saw each other twice a week. He wasn't very nice to me. But anyway, he was jealous of my engagement ring, which in those days I still hadn't taken off. What year did I get rid of that ring? I think it was 2016. I think so. Anyway, he, did I say 33 years I wore it? Got married in 84. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I can't be bothered trying to work it out. Anyway, he was so jealous of that diamond ring, which wasn't particularly all that valuable for the love of all the gods, because, my father-in-law actually paid for it. It cost $2,000 at the time. I'm pretty sure my father-in-law paid for it, because my mother threw that in my face, that she was. But anyway, it wasn't overly valuable. Courtney took it into my bathroom window and a mirror and scratched my mirror with it. Came back and said, "Yeah, the diamonds are real." I said, "What the fuck is wrong with you, you idiot? You don't need to scratch up my mirror to tell me that my diamonds are real. I know they're real. I've got the fucking valuation." I said, "What did you do that for?" He said, "Just wanted to see if they were real. I'm not going to buy you a diamond ring." I said, "I don't need a diamond ring from you anyway. What do I need you for anyway? By the gods. What did I need him for?" But let's be fair here. Although he was stoned 24/7, I had a relationship. My first marriage, I had a relationship with a pot plant because he had no fucking personality and just could sit him in the corner and osmose because there was nothing going on in the brain, nothing, no intellect, nothing. It was like having a conversation with a pot plant, as my childhood friend, pointed out quite accurately. And then I had this 5-year relationship with Courtney, which was also like being in a relationship with a pot plant because he was on pot 24/7. Or he even had it before he went to sleep at night. He was a chronic fucking addict. So he was actually bright and intelligent and witty and funny. And a few times it was synapsing and not completely gone. Which was a great shame. I used to lend him books because I knew he had a brain in there somewhere. Tried to eke it out, draw it out, bring him back to life, like my men alive and synapsing and able to use their mind and fully function and not be addicted to fucking drugs, for the love of all the gods. But anyway, so I did love him in a way, but it ended up being more like a sisterly kind of love because I was nurturing him along under my one armpit, rubbing his head practically for the love of all the gods because he was that akopic and drugged out of his skull. But anyway, what I said, you've got to say good things about people, the good they did. And he fixed 25 mowers that blew up on when I had to do the Brisbane Council land as well as my own. I blew up 25 lawnmowers that he kept engine reconditioning. And in the end, even he was frustrated. and he kept my little Mazda 121 car going. And we would have still probably had, some kind of a reasonably okay relationship, but he became violent and threatening and sicked his friends onto me like a cowardly dog that he really is. So there is that. But however, I do to this day value the sweetness that he showed to my little dog Bella Rosa, who he loved more than me, and the support he did looking after my daughter when she was at university in Toowoomba, making sure that the old, very ancient Mercedes he lent her to use in those days, that he kept it going, and so she'd have a means to travel from Toowoomba and back. So he wasn't a complete bastard. I don't actually understand why he started getting threatening all the time and basically, I'm going to smash your face with he had a handmade brass knuckle duster. He used to threaten, he used to get his mother to ring me up. Courtney's going to smash your face with a knuckle duster. What for? He's stoned all the time. He's not motivated to get up off the fucking couch, never mind smash anyone. She says, I know it's true, but she said, I'm really frightened. He could go psychotic one night, he could kill you, which was a real danger because he was on not just the wacky tobacco, but speeding with his dog as well. It was a real threat. And then ultimately he got his neo-Nazi friend to threaten me with a samurai sword, which was the living end. The living fucking end. And it was actually a very dangerous situation, which even Courtney realised because he saw the blood vessels burst in my eye and realised that if it came down between Skatey killing me or me having to kill him first, I was sober and I was ready. Courtney actually just looked at me and said, please, Tanya, don't do it. He knew. I could see it in my eyes. Anyway, he was that frightened in the end between having to choose between his loyalty for his drug-fucked, gronking, vicious friends, or to me, the woman he was supposed to love and that he had sex with twice a week. I won't call it making love because a man who wants to kill you has got no real love for you, and as he said, just a hole with a goal. Which is why I'll never allow a man near me again who doesn't have absolute true love and honour towards me, because I've walked through that nightmare before too many times with men not worth the scrap of my fingernail. So there it is, babies. I choose to be happy and to thrive and dance my wild moshing dance. I tell you what, if Courtney could ever see me how I mosh wildly now, well, have done for the last 10 years or so, even he would have been made a mistake letting her go. I should have been nicer to her. He really would have that gnosis. But who wants dead shits who are drugged out of their skull anyway? Seriously. I need a man who's in his own body, mind and spirit can love a woman like me. Forget the rest. So, try and find where we're up to. Yes, the con man peddler giving him peanuts for his gold platters. Now when all the golden platters were sold, there remained only the silver tray whereupon they stood, and, for that it was large and weighty, Aladdin brought the pedlar to his house and produced the article. When the buyer, seeing its size, gave him 10 dinars, and these being accepted went his ways. Aladdin still hasn't worked out that he's been ripped off. Poor Aladdin. Aladdin and his mother lived upon the sequins until they were spent. Then he brought out the lamp and rubbed it, and straightway appeared the slave who had shown himself aforetime. The slave of the lamp, on appearing to Aladdin, said, Ask, O my lord, whatso thou wantest, for I am thy slave and the thrall of whoso hath the lamp. And, said the lad, I desire that thou bring me a tray of food like unto that thou broughtest me erewhiles, for indeed I am famished. Accordingly, in the glance of an eye, the slave produced a similar tray supporting 12 platters of the most sumptuous, furnished with requisite cates, and thereon stood clean bread. Is there any other kind of bread? I think they mean fresh bread. And sundry glass bottles of strained wine. That sounds very delicious, doesn't it? Matter of fact, I could do with some of that right now. But I don't have Aladdin's lamp. Oh, small spoiler. Now, Aladdin's... Oh, I love how you joined in with that, Charlie. You're so sweet. Now, Aladdin's mother had gone out when she knew he was about to rub the lamp, that she might not again look upon the genie. But after a while she returned, and when she sighted the tray covered with silvern platters and smelt the savour of the rich meats diffused over the house, she marvelled and rejoiced. Thereupon quoth he, Look, O my mother, thou badest me throw away the lamp. See now its virtues. And, quoth she, O my son, Allah increase his weal, but I would not look upon him. Then the lad sat down with his parent to the tray, and they ate and drank until they were satisfied, after which they removed what remained for use on the morrow. As soon as the meats had been consumed, Aladdin arose and stowed away under his clothes a platter of the platters, and went forth to find the pedlar, purposing to sell it to him. But by fiat of fate he passed by the shop of an ancient jeweller, an honest man and a pious who feared Allah. When the sheikh saw the lad, he asked him, saying, O my son, what dost thou want? For that times manifold have I seen thee passing hereby, and having dealings with a Jewish man. Now, I do not support this anti-Semitism in any way, manner or form, but this was the attitudes in those days. And I have espied thee, handing over to him sundry articles. Now also I fancy thou hast somewhat for sale, and thou seekest him as a buyer thereof. But what thou wottest not, O my child, that the Jews ever hold lawful to them the good of Muslims, the confessors of Allah Almighty's unity, and always defraud them, especially this accursed Jew, with whom thou hast relations, and into whose hands thou hast fallen. If then, O my son, thou have aught thou wouldest sell, show the same to me, and never fear, for I will give thee its full price by the truth of Almighty Allah. Here's the rain. I worried about you being out in the tree, Charlie. Now you know why Mama brought you inside and wanted you safe from the rain. Yes. Not so silly, Mama, now, am I? She's like, I forgive you, Mama. I forgive you. Really trust her, Mama. She knows when the weather's on the turn. Thereupon Aladdin brought out the platter, which, when the ancient goldsmith saw, he took and weighed it in his scales, and asked the lad, saying, Was it the fellow of this thou soldest to the Jew? Yes, its fellow and its brother, he answered. And quoth the old man, What price did he pay thee? Quoth the lad, 1 dinar. The ancient goldsmith cried, Ah! I take refuge from this accursed, who cozeneth the servants of Allah Almighty. Then looking at the lad, he exclaimed, O my son, verily yon tricksy Jew hath cheated thee and laughed at thee, this platter being pure silver and virginal. I have weighed it and found it worth 70 dinars, and if thou please to take its value, take it. Thereupon the sheikh counted out to him 70 gold pieces, which he accepted, and presently thanked him for his kindness in exposing the Jew's rascality. And after this, whenever the price of the platter was expended, he would bring another, and on such wise he and his mother were soon in better circumstances. Yet they ceased not to live after their olden fashion as middle-class folk, without spending on diet overmuch or squandering money. But Aladdin had now thrown off the ungraciousness of his boyhood, and he shunned the society of scapegraces, and he began to frequent good men and true, which is how your life's about to improve, babies. Get away from the dead shits. Even though he did fix my car, all his friends were scum and dead shits and drug addicts and in and out of bloody jail and threatening and vulgar and putrid, but not one of them dared fuck with me until that night Skatey threatened me, by the way. They knew not to go there, guy friends. Recognise another trauma survivor when they see one. Yes, I was queen consort to the cockroach pile with Courtney for a while there. He thought that was a good thing, being king of the cockroach pile. I said, mate, you need to upgrade your life. Those men would stab you in the eye in a pink fit. Wonder what happened to him in the end. Probably dead in the gutter somewhere. Not my monkey, not the circus. Repairing daily to the market street of the merchants, and there companying with the great and the small of them, asking what matters of merchandise, and learning the price of investments, and so forth. He likewise frequented the bazaars of the goldsmiths and the jewellers, where he would sit and divert himself by inspecting their precious stones and by noting how jewels were sold and bought therein. Accordingly, he presently became aware that the tree fruits, wherewith he had filled his pockets what time he entered the enchanted treasury, were neither glass nor crystal, but gems, rich and rare. I wonder if I'd named my daughter Sapphira like I really wanted to, which means sapphire, and upgraded her existence instead of ceding to my mother's desire to name her Crystal, if she'd had a better existence because she was upgraded in value, babies. Never downgrade your value for any motherfucker, people of Earth. My Crystal's deeply valuable to me. She's an extension of me in a way because she's my child, and she's a wonderful actor and writer and director, choreographer. She's a very talented woman. But she downgraded her mother, and that was her undoing when she prevented me from going to her play. After all the many years of support I'd given her, that's how she treated me. So now we're estranged, and I'm kind of not sorry. You don't get to trash me when I've done nothing but wish good for you and work hard to give you the best that I had. And there were times when, yes, I didn't work for many, many years, but I worked in other ways and I struggled and I suffered. You don't get to trash your mother now that you're riding high in life. Just saying. There's one of my videos where I do my little vents and let off a little bit of steam, you understand? Well, I'm only human, aren't I? By the gods, I'm only human, in spite of everything, to spite everything. Anyway, they were neither glass nor crystal, but gems rich and rare, and he understood that he had acquired immense wealth, such as the kings never can possess. He then considered all the precious stones that were in the jeweller's quarter, but found that their biggest was not worth his smallest. On this wise, he ceased not every day repairing to the bazaar and making himself familiar with the folk and winning their loving will and inquiring anent selling and buying, giving and taking, the dear and the cheap, until one day of the days when, after rising at dawn and donning his dress, he went forth, as was his wont, to the jeweller's bazaar, and as he passed along he heard the crier crying as follows: By command of our magnificent master, the king of the time and the lord of the age and the tide. I love how they describe the creator like that. Let all the folk lock up their shops and stores and retire within their houses, for that the lady Badr al-Budur, daughter of the Sultan, designeth to visit the Hammam, and whoso gainsayeth the order shall be punished with death penalty, and be his blood upon his own neck. And I just want to segue a little bit here on the subject of sapphires. It's funny I brought that up. There's a dealer on, I've seen through Instagram or Facebook, can't remember the name now, Azad's Finest Sapphires. He sells the most exquisite sapphires. So one day when I've got enough money, well, more than enough money because it's a huge expense, people of Earth, I'm going to buy one and make a ring out of it. That's my long-term goal when I get better at making jewellery. I'm going to make gold rings with real gemstones and of the quality that, the best quality that I can afford. And who knows, one day maybe I'll be able to turn that into a little side hobby or side business. See, I'm ambitious. It's actually a tragedy that I got trashed so much by monsters that I'm stuck in this hell loop, even from my own daughter trashing me. But anyway, it's a new year and everything is possible, and I'll keep working towards it and maybe even find out who my loving partner is one day. There was that. Of course, it probably puts them off hearing all my real life experiences and my suffering and what I've overcome from partners from the past. But it is what it is, people of Earth. It's a life and it's been lived and survived and warrior goddess. It's like I'm still going, babies. Still going against all the odds. So let us continue with the fairy story. And when Aladdin heard the proclamation, he longed to look upon the king's daughter and said in his mind, Indeed, all the lieges talk of her beauty and loveliness, and the end of my desires is to see her. Aladdin fell to contriving some means whereby he might look upon the princess Badr al-Budur, and at last judged best to take his station behind the hammam door, whence he might see her face as she entered. Accordingly, without stay or delay, He repaired to the baths before she was expected, and stood arear of the entrance, a place whereat none of the folk happened to be looking. Now when the Sultan's daughter had gone the rounds of the city and its main streets, and had solaced herself by sightseeing, she finally reached the hammam. It must be like a massive big swimming pool or baths. I think they refer to it as the hammam baths. And whilst entering, she raised her veil, when her face rose before sight as it were a pearl of price or a sheeny sun, and she was as one of whom the describer sang. Magic kohl enchanted the glances so bright of her. We pluck roses and posies from cheeks rosy bright of her. Of night's gloomiest hue is the gloom of the hair of her, and her bright brow uplighteth the murks of the night of her. Quoth the reciter, when the princess raised from her face the veil, and Aladdin saw her favour, he said, in very truth her fashion magnifieth her almighty fashioner, and glory be to him who created her, and adorneth her with this beauty and loveliness. His strength was struck down from the moment he saw her, and his thoughts were distraught. His gaze was dazed, the love of her get hold of the whole of his heart. And when he returned home to his mother, he was as one in ecstasy. It's delightful when you fall in love like that, isn't it? It really is. But is it real? His parent addressed him, but he neither replied nor denied. And when she set before him the morning meal, he continued in like case. So quoth she, O my son, what is it may have befallen thee? Say me, doth aught ail thee? Let me know what ill hath betided thee, for, unlike thy custom, thou speakest not when I bespeak thee. Thereupon Aladdin, who used to think that all women resembled his mother, and who, albeit he had heard of the charms of Badr al-Budur, daughter of the Sultan, yet knew not what beauty and loveliness might signify, turned to his parent and exclaimed, Let me be. I'm picking up intense vibes from my beloved friend, the man I'm in love with but can't have because he's unattainable. But we're developing a very intense telepathy, and I'm not sure what to do about it actually. Can't do anything about it. I have this with friends and people I'm close to. I wonder what's going on in his life. I did ask him point blank, but he just said everything's okay. And I happen to know that's a lie, by the way. But, if a man is not willing to be honest and upfront and truthful with me, there's not much I can do about it, is it? Just shuck off the telepathic interruptions and move on, babies. What are you chewing, Missy? You can't be chewing that. I'm going to have to go, people of Earth. I'm not feeling very well and physically now, and I'm going to need a bit of a rest if I'm going to be dancing tonight. So let me just finish off the next paragraph, I think, and we'll stop there. However, she persisted in praying him to come forwards and eat. So he did her bidding, but hardly touched food, after which she lay at full length on her bed all the night through in cogitation deep until morning morrowed. The same was his condition during the next day. love sickness. When his mother was perplexed for the case of her son and unable to learn what had happened to him, so thinking that belike he might be ailing, she drew near him and asked him, saying, O my son, and thou sense aught of pain or such like, let me know that I may fare forth and fetch thee the physician. And today there be in this our city a leech from the land of the Arabs, whom the Sultan hath sent to summon, and the brought abroad reporteth him to be skilful exceedingly. So and be thou, let me go and bring him to thee. Right, we're going to stop there. I'm off like Goff. Have a beautiful afternoon wherever you are in the space-time continuum, and I may be back later if I feel better with part 4. And in the meantime, love is the law, love under will. Stay safe, stay happy, stay wild, stay free. Stay in love with those who love you wholeheartedly and truly and honouringly and sweetly. And some of us have to stay in love with the ones who don't love us back, because we're the queen of the unrequited, the unavailable, and the fucking damned, and it's just the way it is, people of Earth. But I won't suffer over it for too long, and I won't struggle with it for too long. I'll just let it roll off my shoulders and carry on being awesome and living my best life and striving to achieve the things I want to achieve in life and be at peace with what is, and probably love even more. I have a tendency to double down when in doubt, love even more, and when that love's not returned, or when I think that it's a game, I eventually chew my arm off and detach. So could go either way, people of Earth. But I do love you all, my beautiful friends in the music scene, and my friends Jared and Lynn and Margaret and Jackie and so many, Sally, especially Sally. So many good, kind people who have literally nourished me and soul nourished me over the many decades. Love to you all. Bye for now from Titania's realm, sacred space.